Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Talk Hunting. I'm Thomas O'Connor. So as I promised back in the spring, I would take you out on a guided trip. And well, here it is. Unfortunately, due to unforeseen circumstances this spring, things were a little bit limited as to how much time I could get out and actually hunt. But I was able to get two colleagues of mine out for an amazing morning turkey hunting. I took them out on a guided trip here locally, and things were just spectacular that morning. The wildlife showed up and they performed. Either way, hope you enjoy it. Here it is. Things were a little bit slow in the morning. We were just trying out this new farm that I had just got permission to hunt on. First time out there, being able to hunt. I spotted a couple of turkeys the night before, so I knew they were around. It was just to be able to get out there in that morning and just interact with them and hope that things would be successful for us. So I started to introduce them to turkey calling, since they're both very new into turkey hunting, showing them the different types of calls. And lo and behold, as I'm showing them, things light right up all around us. They were just a little bit late to get out and start gobbling in the roosts. But once they did, man, they lit right up. We were surrounded by turkeys all over the place. So as I got a little bit more aggressive with my calling, right out in front of us, we had one giant tom. At least vocally, he sounded like a big bird, gobbling out in front of us off to our left, and then there was one a little bit to our right, and they seem to have been moving a little bit closer to the center. And as we're sitting there, I look up and I can see something through the trees moving. It's a little bit black. I get the camera on, get zoomed in there, and I said to the two of them, I said, I think I see something up front. So we get the binos out and we're looking, and all we can see is just a little bit of black moving around. It was really difficult to see with the binos. It was quite far. It was like 600 yards, and we could just see this thing moving around. So Brad on my left, he had a little bit better view, and he says, "No, man, I think that's a bird." And it kept gobbling in front of us. So we at that point started to come up with an action plan. We're talking back and forth, trying to figure out what we were going to do. So once we came up with that plan, we were going to cut across the field, get set up, and get on the other side, and at least cut the distance in half. So that's what we did. We get up there, get set up, we call, nothing happens. So at that point I said to them, well, there's another little island right there. That'll cut down another 100 yards, 150 yards. Let's move to it. So we get up and we move across. And just as we start to move into the opening, I see black moving again through the tree line. Turn around, get set up back in the little bit of scrub brush on the top of the little knoll that we were on. We just sit down, and out comes this. So we were slightly disappointed. We had this bird gobbling in front of us for 30 minutes, making all kinds of noise. We had some decent interaction. I'd call, he'd gobble. We cut the distance down. He went silent, had no idea why. And that black thing that we were looking at initially, we were trying to figure out what it was, and we were trying to get closer to just be able to see, because there was a bit of that knoll there. And then when we cut the distance in half, or attempted to cut the distance in half again, the big lad came walking out, this giant bear. We had no idea it was a bear. And then our hearts kind of sunk and went, well, where did that bird go? Well, I guess that bear is what we were looking at, and the Tom must have been just on the other side of the bushes making some vocalizations towards us. And with the bear being present, that Tom had went dead silent. And then just as we were getting ready to move and maybe cut that distance down again, we heard him gobbling. He was across the road on the neighbor's property. So we kind of just took it from there and said, look, let's go try and find some of those other birds we heard earlier in the morning. So as we were walking around the property, moving around, and basically our hearts kind of had said, you know, it's kind of back and forth. We're done. Let's move to a totally different farm. There's nothing here. I don't know where all these birds went to. So we started to head towards the truck. And as we started coming around the corner towards the truck into the main field, we spotted these two lads right here. So after spotting these birds, we went back, got up along the side of the barn, snuck around it, got down, crawled through the long grass, and got set up along that fence line. Once we were set up, got a visual on them again, we could see that those birds were coming our way. So after quite a few sequences of calling and coaxing them in, they were a little bit suspicious and could kind of tell something was up. And as you could notice, we didn't have time to get out there and put any decoys out. And personally, late season, I don't like using turkey decoys. I find them to be sometimes more of a repellent than an attractant. So we didn't attempt to get out and set up a decoy in terms of just the safety aspect of it, just because I didn't want to spook those birds. I didn't want to be out in front of them with the guns while they're getting set up. So we just set up, and just like I would even on my own hunts, without a decoy, just call. And in they came. And as you can see, at any point they got a little bit nervous, I gave them a little bit of a call. Or if they got hung up feeding for too long, I gave them a bit of a call just to keep them coming. And what I'm doing is playing on their curiosity at that point. They're not able to see what they can hear, and they just keep coming in and coming in and coming in, because birds and deer, for that matter, pretty much all animals, their curiosity gets the better of them. And so when you give them something to fixate on, like a decoy, often in late season, if they're not interested, if they're done breeding, or they're just not interested in a fight, if you put out a tom, they tend to stay clear of your area, and they'll just go around you. So what I like to do late season is don't put out any decoys and just use my calling. If anything, I just put out a hen. Hens tend to be a little bit more passive. A tom that's wandering around, or two jakes that are wandering around after they've bred their hens in the morning, looking for another hen ready to breed, they tend to come in and try and scoop up that hen. So that's why we put out that hen early in the morning. And at this point, with these two birds, they're already there. They're already responding to the calling. So that's all I did, is just continue to call, just to keep them coming. Anytime they put their heads down or they started to move too far to our left, I'd call, trying to bring them back in and swing them back towards us. That way we could actually get a shot at them. Get up, man. Get the far one. Shoot. All right, so I'm sure that you know, after shooting your first bird yourself, or any animal that you've had your first experience with, you're static. So here I've got Josh on my left. He is absolutely pumped. He's nailed that bird, as you could see. It is down for the count. But then I've got Brad on my right, whose heart is just falling on the ground, and he's probably slightly embarrassed because he's missed. That bird's 20 yards in front of us, and for whatever reason, he's missed. As you can see on the video footage, there's just a little bit of plug that you can see just going over the top of the bird. And if your plug is high on the bird, your shot is going to be above it, just due to the fact that their velocity differences, the plug's slowing down, the shot's still probably gaining speed at that point because it's only 20 yards. But nonetheless, your shot is probably only the size of a dinner plate at 20 yards, depending on the choke that you're using for your gun. And as you can see, if the plug missed the bird, your shot's going to be above it, and you might have had a couple pellets down below, maybe luck out and hit that bird right in the head. But in this case, you didn't hit it at all, and at that point he was trying to get up and hammer at it as it took off into the sky. Me being a new at this cameraman stuff, I'm trying to help them, guide them, and coach them through the event that's happening, and I forgot all about the camera. So sorry guys, you didn't get to see the bird and them trying to knock it down as it flew away. But nonetheless, it was quite the event. They both had fun. Josh on my left, he had a great morning, and Brad on my right, I said to him, look guy, I owe you another experience like this. Let's go try another field, try another farm. We still got lots of morning left. Don't worry about it. Just put it behind you, and we'll try and tackle another bird. So we tried a few other farms in the area that I have permission to hunt on, and nonetheless, we weren't able to be successful. The birds this season were acting a little bit weird, abnormal behavior. I had never seen 12, I think it was 12 different toms and jakes in one field, just chasing each other around, not really doing anything productive, not interacting with anything other than themselves, which was really, really weird, but still a very cool experience to see them chasing each other around. So after that, we called it quits. The morning was done. I didn't get a chance to get out hunting after that, just due to the circumstances, like I said earlier in the video, dealing with family issues and health concerns, as well as dealing with our cottage still. So that was the end of my turkey season. Only got out twice. Both times I was guiding for people, my buddies here that I had with me this morning, and then previously I took out a guided trip with Irish Creek Outfitters, and again, the birds were a little bit weird, super wet weather. Things weren't overly successful for me this year, just due to the fact that I didn't have the time and the energy to get out to hunt this year, just due to spending it on other events in my life. So hope you enjoyed it. Hope you guys liked it. If you did, click the subscribe button, click the like, and please share it if you don't mind. Get it out there. Nonetheless, I'm going to bring you more, guys, more hunting, more fishing. I'm going to try and get out and teach you all the things that I know about hunting. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching Talk Hunting and Outdoor.